spending some time in the SG Elite gym. Obviously, now I'm the head coach at Vanguard University. We're an NAIA program, which basically means is during all this weird stuff going on, it frees me up to be able to talk to you guys and interact with you guys a lot more than some other coaches can. So I've been trying to maximize that as much as possible. But yeah, so yeah, we're in Costa Mesa, California, and I also coach for Balboa Bay Volleyball Club as well. So this time it's just been weird for, all of club volleyball. And I think it's really cool for, for me as a coach to look at, what you guys are doing, what Hugo's doing and Kenji's doing with SG Elite, from the YouTube channels to the different video sessions. Because I think it's just a great way of making the most of our time, because it's a weird time. And I think it's weird for everyone. And, I think you see, the successful people, the successful organizations, the successful volleyball teams, they're really making the most out of this time, and they're really finding ways to maximize it, and that's going to look different for everyone. For some people, it's going to look like they're spending lots of time building relationships and getting to know people. For others, it's going to be investing lots of time, getting stronger, or getting faster, being able to jump higher. And for others, it's, especially for Kyle and Bryce, who are two of our guys, they played every single point. I think Kyle played 2 points. I took him out all year long at the end of one of the matches, but they needed the rest. So I know they took good 4 to 5 weeks of just strictly resting and kind of recovering. So yeah, it's a cool time, and I think being around good people is great. And obviously SG Elite I think highly of everyone involved, and all the coaches and Hugo as well. So it's fun to be around. So thanks for having me. Hugo, do I need to touch on anything else? Or do you have any announcements or anything going on? I know obviously everything just went down yesterday with officially canceling JOs for everyone, but do you have anything or any housekeeping you need to knock out?
No, we're excited. I think your introduction was very modest, but Brad is one of I think he's going to be one of the best coaches, young coaches, up and coming for sure. You've been around Marv, who's one of the best volleyball minds. I know you got to soak up a lot at your time at Pepperdine. Mm-hmm. You were at Concordia, and you've been around some good coaches great coaches like Travis at Balboa. So we're excited, and whatever feedback you have to share with us.
Sweet. And before I basically my goals for you guys, or for y'all, is one, I want to just kind of check in and see how everyone's doing with this time, because it has been tough on everyone. And, I know obviously with you guys all being in school, there's lots of Zoom fatigue setting in. And as the meetings really were starting to add up, I wanted to be really mindful of that with, the team at Vanguard and the club guys. And I think, making sure everything is meaningful and important is super important. So that's kind of one of my main goals, is making sure that you guys see the value in it. And some of the things I really want to get across is just, one, teach you how to access some volleyball videos. As a college coach, it's pretty easy for me. I can, reach out to some people who play professionally or whatever and get a hold of just about any video in the world. But as we have some 13-year-olds, it's almost impossible to do that, So you guys find video, how do you track video down? What to look for within that video is huge. Because, when I was 17, 18, I didn't even know YouTube wasn't much of a thing, but, I didn't know where to find volleyball or how to watch volleyball, and didn't know much about volleyball. So I want to, one, show you how to access the video, and two, show you what to look for and kind of what some different specifics or different areas you can really focus on and watch, because it's not just so much watching the highlights of the 10 biggest bounces or the 10 best backwards back sets or whatever else you've seen on YouTube and on those different channels. Because I think you can get a lot of value, especially during this time. Just watching volleyball done at a really high level is crucial to your development. And we all get to really add in and pour into our volleyball minds and our volleyball development. Karch Karai talks about the volleyball encyclopedia inside your brain. So being able to add volleyball information inside that brain is huge for us right now. So we have two players from Vanguard. The first one is Bryce Thompson. He's a setter from Los Alamitos, who is he just finished up his sophomore year, so he'll be going into his junior year. For us, he was an honorable mention All-American first team all conference for us, setter of the week 4 times throughout the year, and was our only setter on the roster. And he had to deal with an overbearing coach who wanted to know when he got a mosquito bite or when someone flicked him in the air. So Bryce will be joining with us, and I'll kind of turn it over to him at some points, because we did do some different stuff offensively that I kind of want him to touch on. And then we also have Kyle Onema, who is he was a NAI All-American, newcomer of the year, GSAC newcomer of the year, NAI Player of the Week, and he was Kyle, jump off mute. What was your club history? I know it was dynamic a little bit, and
yeah,
what
so
else?
it was only dynamic. I started my junior year, only played this summer, basically just for my high school coach, Jason Kwok. And that was, and then I played that summer, and then played the whole my senior year for the same club. We only had one team, about 12 guys, so super small. We came in 5th my senior year, but we weren't anything special. So yeah.
Awesome. And Bryce, you're high line and then finished with Long Beach Volleyball Club. Bryce was playing as a 12-year-old, and comes from a volleyball family. Bryce, give us a little rundown on your volleyball career, your youth career.
Yeah, so I started at Highline, or otherwise known as Long Beach Volleyball Club today. I started when I was a 7th grader, and I played for 6 years in club before I got to college. I loved every year of it. Went to all the nationals and everything like that. So club volleyball was an awesome experience for me.
That's awesome. And Kyle, I know SG sends a lot of guys to Pierce College and the junior college route. Kyle went through the junior college route at Long Beach City. I obviously went to Orange Coast College as well, and played under Travis Turner, who also runs Balboa. And then Bryce transferred in from NAIA school out in Kansas. So yeah, that was a little rundown on us. And if y'all have any questions or anything pops up, feel free to shoot it in the chat, and we can get to it. And Hugo will keep an eye on that if he sees anything. And first, what we're going to go through one of our matches. We're going to watch some of our block and defense. So, there's two sides.
Brad, can I add something?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, guys. Hey, I asked Coach Brad to run this like if you were running a college film sesh that he would be doing with his team. So I am going to ask you guys, if you can, turn on your cameras. That way we kind of see the interaction. If you guys have any questions, don't be afraid to type them in the chat. I'm not going to, we want this to be like it would be if you guys were sitting at Vanguard prepping for a match. All right, go ahead, Coach.
Awesome. So, Hugo, you can see the screen, yeah?
Yep.
All right, awesome. So we're going to watch our point scoring phase, or our block and defense. And what that means is when the other team is serving at you, that's your side out phase. When you're serving, that's the old school volleyball when you had to earn points the hard way, and games were to 15. This was the point scoring phase, because you could only score a point if you were serving. So this is what we're going to look at. And it's something that, I really, my eyes really go to a lot when I watch volleyball, is just what the blockers are doing and what the dialogue is. And Bryce and Kyle, let's keep you guys off mute for this, because I'd love to kind of hear your guys' thoughts. So here we're playing in a match. This is the 5th set of a match against Springfield College. And for you guys who don't know, Springfield College is a Division III school in Massachusetts, in Springfield, Massachusetts. Right here, they have a pretty talented team. I think they were 1, 2, or 3 in the nation for Division III. They were number 1 at the time of this match. Right here, number 17 for them is their outside hitter, so they're in a rotation 1 situation. He's an outside hitter. He was an All-American for them. And basically, number 19 was their other stud, which he got a ton of balls. He was a left-handed opposite. And those are kind of our 2 guys we're really keying in on, and really focusing on to make sure that we were really trying to force them to have to make other guys beat us, even though both these guys did a great job against us. So hopefully this video is pretty smooth for you guys. So obviously there, right? You see not the cleanest sequence, right? It's an opportunity for us to get a roll shot. We get them out of system here on this first ball. We get them out of system. We do a pretty good job of putting up a decent block. And then out of the free ball, we manage to get a roll shot. And then we have a miscommunication between Bryce or Christian. And something I'm really big on is just our communication afterwards and how we handle errors, because errors are inevitable in volleyball. You actually lose about 49% of the points you play anyways throughout your career. So how you handle and manage those errors are very important to me. So Bryce, what's your dialogue after a play like that with your teammates? What are you saying to Christian there? What are you saying?
So typically in that situation, I'll take that off blocker ball, and so I'll tell him that's my ball, so he doesn't have to worry about it or stress about it for the next play. And if it was his ball, we would just have a quick discussion about it, and I'll tell him, or he'll admit to it. So it'll just keep it calm, emotions down, just get it over with, so you can just move on to the next play.
So here, Kyle, do you remember with this lefty, with this opposite, there was a few keys I remember us talking about. Do you remember what our game plan was, or what we saw that we don't normally see that you had a cue in on there as a blocker?
Yeah, so the biggest thing for us was the change of tempo and set. They ran a really fast tempo, which meant that it didn't really give us a lot of time to react. We had to almost just go and commit, especially for me, because the lefty or the opposite was a big hitter on that team, and I had a big responsibility to go and get him. And a couple things we talked about with that hitter was, because the set was so fast, he had to almost take it angle every time. So a big key for me was just to stop early and get my hands across the net as fast as I could. Get a stop.
Yeah, that's great. And it's definitely something, I mean, I think being left-handed is something you can't really emulate in your gym. And then as you see here, so if you look here right behind the setter, hopefully you guys can see my mouse circling. We have one of our outside hitters, and he's not even looking. You know, we talk about read blocking a lot, right? But when you play a team and you know what they're doing, it limits the amount you have to read. For one, we knew they didn't really set the bic too often in first ball side out. So number 17 is a great player for them, but he wasn't much of a threat. Like Kyle talked about, that tempo back overhead to number 19 was something we've never seen in our gym. So it was something we really had to adjust for. So he's leaving before this setter is even set. He doesn't even know where he's setting the ball, and he's leaving to go get him, and that's by design. And then, as you see, our right side blocker right here, our opposite, he's bunched in there. And Bryce or Kyle, do you guys remember why our right side blocker was so bunched in to help with the gap, or the 31 here with the middle?
I think maybe it's because in that it was outside swing angle. That was a long time ago, but is that why?
It's kind of. I mean, they didn't really set 12 in system at all. He was more someone they would go to as a bailout. So we knew if there was a good pass. So what I mean by in system is if that pass is in front of the 3-meter line and up along the net, they didn't really want to set 12. It wasn't a high priority for him. So we knew that our right side could bunch in, and if they set 12, we were okay with getting beat overhead, but we wanted to be in a better spot to defend the gap, because our middles had to stay in the middle. We call that staying neutral. So if you see our middle here, number 5, he has to stay neutral with the gap and not front him, because we know they like setting that back set so much. And then they set the gap, and then our right side blocker is right there waiting for it. So that's a little thing that goes a long way to helping us earn a point. As you see again there, our outside did a really good job leaving early and getting out and getting across the net. And they made a good swing by them. We wanted to leave a little bit of line for our libero to dig, and he made a great swing and beat our libero. And especially for us, that's going to happen sometimes. Here, obviously, we have a float server, and especially in men's volleyball, you see a lot more jump topspin servers, right? Collegiately. For us, our float serve was very effective, and for us, a lot of what we see is if we float serve the back row outside hitter, what does that mean, Kyle? If you're getting float served and you're in the back row, or someone we want to prevent from hitting a bic, a float serve really jams that up for you, yeah?
Yeah, it sucks. You can't hit the big. If you're getting float served as a back row outside, it basically just takes all of your momentum from hitting a big. Because typically when I pass float serves, they're in front of you. Typically you're taking a step or two. They're closer to 10 to 15 feet. So that obviously kills the back row attack. So it allows the blockers just to easily just prioritize the front row hitters.
Yeah, that's especially if, for us, when Kyle was in the back row, Bryce liked to set him on the bic. So it was something that a lot of teams really would cue in on us to try to stop and prevent that. So here, in those two-hitter rotations, not too many times in club level do you see a D-ball. So for us, that's something that takes a lot of adjustments and a lot of getting used to. And this is actually one of the best reads of the game, and a pretty high-level read here by our middle blocker. So obviously, Kyle does a great job here. Our scouting report was to release to go get the back set. So Kyle's kicking out before the set. Number 5 here is reading and prepping for the back set. We know they like setting the outside in rotation 1 back overhead. So he's prepping. You can see him. His hands are down. He's taking a step. He is ready to go and get that back set on a red. He's obviously still reading, right? So he's still looking at the setter's hands. Some people even talk about looking at the setter's right wrist and fingertips there on that right hand. But he is reading that, and he's expecting it to go back. But because he's doing a good job with his eye work, seeing the setter, he's able to recognize the quick set and get a great touch. And then he's able to just kind of jam it and junk it and throw the ball down into the ground, which is something that we talk quite a lot offensively, being able to do as middles. And we'll talk about that a little later. And again, there you see just how that tempo and how it can give a team an advantage just by using that tempo, because it's different than what teams are used to seeing.
Right, is this the optimized view?
Yes.
Oh, it is.
How's the playback for it?
It's a little bit more blurry than when we tested it.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Should I go back to the other view?
Let's try it, maybe.
Okay. All right, we're going to turn off screen share. Let's see what this looks like. So Kyle, as you're, we're talking a little bit about fifth sets, Bryce, Kyle, let's have you guys talk in terms of what's the communication, what's the level of intentionality that you have within the team and within a huddle in that fifth set. For these club tournaments, obviously it's a third set, but it's the similar level of intensity, similar level of value to every single point. So talk about what that communication does for you and how it helps you.
Yeah, so I think a big thing in our third set for you guys, just putting the first 2 sets behind, obviously you lost a set, and the third set's anyone's game at that point. So at that point, third set communication, it's all positivity and starting strong. It's a huge aspect of deciding set is a strong start and just taking it 1 point at a time. A lot of teams like to go like first to 5 points, first to 10 points, and first to 15. just taking it multiple small points at a time. So there's a few ways you can go about it, but as long as you're intentional with starting strong and keeping positive vibes, that's kind of my mentality on fifth set / third set.
Yeah, so my input for that would be, I would say for all you guys, like, it's the feeling of your last game of a tournament day and you have to go 3 sets. For me, it's that feeling again of being the 5th set. And the thing that's most important for me is the communication has to be 110%. And I know that sounds crazy, like 110%, can't give 110%. So you just have to give what you got left in the tank, and put it all into communication, and like the rest will fall into place. I know for Brad, for us, communication was just key, and it was pulling up after every point.
Oh, can you hear me?
Well, that's way clear.
What that did for us was it just allowed us to forget the points that we lost, and even the points that like we won, and then be able to go to the next point and start fresh.
That's great. All right, Cade, you're on my screen, so you might so you're gonna get put in the hot seat here. Okay, I can see you. The hair's looking good despite quarantine. It's looking better than mine. Cade, jump off mute. All right, so we're gonna put yourself in number 9 shoes. Oh, I was trying to pause it. As he freaks out about a call. Okay, we're gonna put yourself in number 9 shoes. What do you know about their team that we've discussed, we've talked about, if you're trying to block against the opposite for them?
It's a faster tempo, correct? That's what you were talking about
Mm-hmm.
before. So, and so that'd be number 9. Oh yeah, I can see now.
Right here.
That'd be my main priority. So I do like a preload to the opposite, so I can make sure I get there on time. But I also watch the middle just to make sure he's not doing anything behind the setter.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say you don't even need to watch the middle, right? If their best player is that opposite and you're lined up in front of them,
Yeah.
I would make sure I'm real good on that guy. And if the middle beats us, the middle beats us, right?
Right.
You know, it doesn't mean if you see it, you're not blocking, right? You
Yeah,
got to
yeah.
block what you see. But, you know, we want to be real good in a situation where we're on their guy.
Yeah.
All right, so that is our point scoring phase there. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to pull up. Can you guys still see my screen?
Yeah.
So you can see the volumetrics?
Yep.
Sweet.
It's like you went to HD though.
It's a high quality? Good. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to watch a little bit of the 2016 gold medal match. This match is literally on YouTube. You know, so you type in 2016 gold medal match, Rio, Brazil versus Italy, and you can watch this match. You can find this match, and I really like the match just because you see the best volleyball players in the world, and you see the nerves, you know, come out of them. So it's interesting because you never normally see that. Players like Bruno and Lucas who've played in the biggest matches ever. They end up really kind of showing some nerves early on, you know, and you think about it, playing for a gold medal in your home country, in the most popular sport in your country, it's a lot of pressure. So what we're going to do, we're going to just kind of watch their blocking. And for those of you guys who don't know, Italy has their best player as an opposite, number 9, right here. Zaitsev is his name, and he has got a cannon. So he's going to get a lot of balls for him. Is Nick Diddick on the call? Do we know?
I didn't see him.
Okay, so this is what I had queued up for Nick. So Cade, you'll have to relay the message. Okay? So part of, you know, we talk a lot about tempo offense, you know, especially in the middle, right? Nick runs a little bit slower set, and I know you guys have been working on getting it faster. But part of the importance, so he's just coming off the ground here as the setter setting the ball. Obviously, this guy's 6'11", so it's a little bit different. But he's just coming off the ground as this guy is setting the ball. And because of that, it then allows the Brazil blockers to react and basically get 3 up, right? So that's where the tempo is so crucial and so important, because it's putting you in a position where you can attack the ball with less hands. You know, granted, none of those guys are really across the net, but it just really maximizes the effectiveness the quicker you're able to get on that set as a middle. And Bryce, why don't you, as we kind of scroll through some of these, Bryce, why don't you go ahead and talk about maybe some of the things you do as a setter with our middles, maybe our fly routes and our different attacking that we've used to kind of attack more out of the middle of the court to free up more court. So when you set Kyle, you know, he doesn't have blockers just camping on him.
Yeah, right now or
Yeah. Go ahead and just talk. And I'll keep scrolling through
so-
this, but just keep talking.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so if our best player is Kyle for hitting wise, and just all around wise, just best player. And so we like try to give him the ball the most. So and in order to do that, you know, middles just can't bail on the middle. Like the opposing middles, we don't want them bailing on the middle. Our middles, so like they give Kyle 2 up every time. So we try to like move the middles around so that the middles on the opposing middles keep an eye on our middles so that Kyle doesn't can get your late blockers or only 1 up. So kind of differentiating like right here. He's starting off wide and going in. It gets 13 and it gets Zaitsev open here. That's kind of an example of what we would do. Just kind of throwing in various tight quicks or gaps to either create space or create tension. So, and, you know, when the good passes are there, it's easy for, you know, for me to run these middles and, you know, even when I'm not setting them, still point blockers.
So this is something that really stands out as you watch this match. You know, I talked about one of the things I wanted to get across to you guys is what to watch, right? And this play really stands out as quality volleyball here. So we have a good pass, right? Great serve, better pass, they're in system. And the middle, Lucas is able to get a great quality touch. And right here, you know, the dig, I don't know if the dig is right over here on this half of the court. But look at the opposite over here, Wallace. If you look at him, Cade, you've played opposite, right? Does that guy look like he wants to hit the heck out of this ball or what?
Yeah.
He is prepping to hit that ball, and there's no doubt about it. Okay? So that ball is coming from 30 feet away, right? It's coming from the other side of the court. It's over here in area 4. So this ball is going to Wallace no matter what happens. Sergio's going to set it up here to Wallace, and Wallace is going to go hit it. And let's see where this set goes. Cade, how far inside is that?
About 5 feet.
5 feet.
Around 8.
Yeah, it's pretty far inside, right?
Yeah, pretty far.
You know, I think if Matt's setting you that ball, you're probably saying, hey, can you push it out a little more, you know?
Yeah.
But he does such a good job of prepping to hit this ball. He's getting it at a high point. He's fully extended. So let's watch his footwork as he goes through and gets this. All right, so you're going to see his first step as the libero Sergio is setting this ball. He's going to be on his 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's able to get his feet all the way there and drive that ball. And he's not trying to hit it down around the block. He's killing the ball off the block consistently. Especially out of system, you're going to have to kill the ball. You're going to have to hit hard, and you're going to have to drive it off the block in order to make that happen. It's okay, do that.
Alex, are you on the call? Alex Mayo?
Alex, report to the hot seat.
Alex is on the call.
So here. So here's a great serve. Awesome footwork. What really stands out to me here, so as we watch 16 pass this ball, what I see a lot with passers, and I think it's something, Kyle's right here, and it's something that Kyle does this as well, is that after a passer passes a ball, you should know exactly the quality of pass it's going to be, right? You're the one passing it. It's coming off your arms. You should really be aware of that quality of pass. So as you're seeing that pass, you understand, oh, that's a good pass. He knows he nailed that pass, and with that serve, that's tough to do. So he knows he nails it. So he shuffles out, and boom, look how calm he is. Obviously, he's off the screen, but he's real calm. He's real composed, and he's ready to start his approach and time it. And as he comes in, he's step closing in, understands he's got a little blocker. Bruno, one of the best setters in the world, obviously not the biggest dude in the world. So he understands he's got a small blocker, so he's attacking down the line. And then Wallace obviously makes a great dig, and they're able to play some volleyball out of it. But just that footwork after a pass and being able to understand the situations are so crucial as outside hitters or just volleyball players. So I think that's something that really helps us, is understanding that and what you're seeing there. So watch a few more clips here.
Coach, Alex is available to answer questions too, but his audio might be cutting out. So we can.
Okay, what position's Alex?
He's a lib.
Okay, awesome. So Alex, hopefully you can see this. Hopefully you can hear me. What do you see with this serve that tells you it's an off-speed serve?
He slows down at the last minute.
Okay.
Almost.
He slows down. Where do you see him slow down exactly?
When he has his arm almost at the ball, he slows it down.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah. Right
That's
about
awesome.
there.
So you'd be able to step in there and pass that ball, right?
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I like what we talked about earlier. So see here, this serve, and I don't know, they might have different team management and different stuff going on, but if our libero is able to pass that ball, or as a libero, you're able to pass that ball, then that frees up the outside hitter to get all the way around you and be able to go run that BIC route. Because that off speed, a short serve and a depth change like that is great to take out a BIC hitter and make offense a little more one-dimensional. So liberos being able to read and ID that really helps give you an advantage to free up that BIC hitter. Because right now it's essentially, we have no BIC, the middle's a little bit late, and the ball goes outside. Okay, so that's a match. That's on YouTube. And, if you're an outside, watch the outside hitters. Watch them and see what you like about them. Ideally, there's lots of women's volleyball matches online. There's lots of men's volleyball matches online. So here's one thing that really I think helped a lot of our guys is we just didn't. It's really hard to understand professional volleyball because we don't have it available and accessible here in the U.S. So one thing that I challenged all my guys to do, if you're a middle, I had all our middles go through and watch the top 10 middles in the world, the top 10 setters in the world, the top 10 outsides, just so that we can start building up our database and our knowledge so that, if we're looking for an undersized middle who is great at read blocking, we can go back and watch David Lee for the last 12 years with the U.S. team go and block. And there's so many great volleyball players and great volleyball matches on YouTube. This was one that came across my feed. It was just, one of the last matches before coronavirus hit, but Hawaii versus BYU. A match that I found myself watching is lots of the Super League finals, which is basically the European Champions Cup, which is the best teams across Europe that are playing. And this is, if you were to think about the NBA, this is essentially an all-star team of volleyball players from across the world that are playing on teams across different leagues. And and it's extremely high level volleyball. And it's where Matt Anderson is a guy who fits in with the rest of the team and isn't the guy that set every single ball. So it's really cool to see different players in different environments, and you really see the power of a team and how everything comes together. And there, obviously, you see Bruno setting for Lube. So yeah, it's just it's all ways where you can find volleyball, and literally just type in, professional volleyball championships, and I geek out over this stuff. So whether Kyle and Bryce like it or not, I sent them some matches from like 1976 and 1988 and different old school matches and young Jiva matches. So I think it's all stuff that I really love and really enjoy. Kyle, Bryce, what about for you guys? Have you been watching, obviously you've been forced to watch a little more volleyball being around me, but have you found, a better understanding? I know Bryce has watched a lot of setters. Maybe Bryce, what are some setters you really enjoy to watch? And Kyle, we talked a lot about Aaron Russell, but who are some players that you like to watch and see? So Bryce, go ahead and go first.
So setting wise, a lot of setters that I like to watch, or my favorites are the setters that are least expected or least flashy. So like Polish setters, they're small, but they don't do anything special, but they're just really hard to read. And that's what kind of makes them special. And that's kind of why I try to emulate, because, flashy setters are cool to watch and highlights and stuff, but they also make a lot of errors. And, setters that are just solid, don't do anything special, run the offense and well. That's kind of what I try to look for when I watch volleyball film.
For me, the outsides that I like to look at from high school level to professional level are the guys like that just they're not big, going trying to bounce every ball. They're the guys that are hitting off the hand, hitting deep corners. I think for me that was the biggest thing I learned to take into college to score points, because 9 guys out of 10 that you go watch in high school, they're all going to be able to hit the ball hard and straight down to the ground. But the thing that sets them different is you put a block in front of those guys and you see how they react. So, like, are they hitting off the hand? Are they hitting deep corner? Or are they trying to just bounce 10 feet every time? And I think that was the biggest thing for me. And, like, the guy I watched to learn that was Irvin Ingapet, I think is how to pronounce it. He's just a really tricky guy. You never see him bounce anything, and he goes high hands, he goes deep corners, and like nice little roll shots, and he just scores points for his team.
Yeah, awesome. So what we're gonna do is something I do with our guys every once in a while. So it's a little PowerPoint I've created. We'll go through it and we'll kind of do like one challenge. So we'll ask a few of you guys what you see. But first, so I call this the Read the Game Challenge. And where this kind of started was I heard lots of people like, hey, I'm going to get better at reading the game during all this. But like, if you just watch volleyball, it doesn't necessarily compute. And one of my favorite quotes from Marv, like Hugo was talking about, Marv Dumpy is probably the greatest volleyball coach in U.S. history. So he always talked about, as we'd have these scouting reports and these plans for teams, but ultimately what you see in the game is a lot more important than what you know. So obviously you do as much homework and as much preparation as possible, but you got to trust your eyes and trust your athleticism as a volleyball player. So what you see is more important than what you know. And so what we're going to do is we're going to watch Ben Toniutti, who is the French national team setter. We're going to go through and watch him. And what we're going to get to is where I'm going to freeze frame a play. And you're going to have to be able to predict whether it's quick or big that Ben Toniutti is going to set. And the quick will be kind of right here. So what you'll see right now, these are going to be highlights of just Toniutti setting quick. And the reason for this is just so that you can get an idea of what it looks like for him to set quick. So this will be him right here, number 6. And we're just going to watch him. All these are just going to be quick sets to his middles, just so you get an idea how he takes the ball, how he releases the ball, and really just focus on how he's taking the ball from a neutral position and what his hands are doing, and find something that tells you he's setting quick. I've added this in after we had a professional middle blocker join us for a call, Nick Amato, who was at Long Beach State. And I showed him a bunch of random clips, and he was like, it's a lot easier if I know what the setter is going to set, because as he's preparing for matches, he is watching the setter set literally 500 balls and knows exactly what they do with their hips or how they rotate or how they release the ball. So I kind of added this in, so it gives us an idea. And now we're going to watch him set a few Bics as well, so that you can see the difference just from his release, how his hands are being placed on the ball, the angle of his hands, how he's approaching the ball, how he's squaring up or not squaring up. Okay, so we've gotten to see a quick and a Bic. Now we're going to let the challenge begin. So if you guys are ready to shout it out as you watch, wear the set. So now this is Ben Toniutti setting with the French national team. So we're going to go ahead and watch it. And it's going to freeze frame right as he's touching the ball. And we're going to guess if he's setting quick or Bic here. Cade, what do you think? Quick or Bic? I'm going to play it one more time for you guys. Cade?
Shoot.
It's okay. It's okay if you're not right, but
I just feel like Bic, because I feel like the Bics, his hands were a little farther away from his head than they were with the quicks. That's just something I might have noticed. It was kind of lagging a little bit for me, but
okay.
Bic.
Who else? Let's get someone else to jump in and say their prediction. Maybe someone who thinks they're setting quick. What do you see or what tells you quick? I'm going to play it a few more times because it is a little laggy for you guys.
Sarah Dunham, what do you think? Oh, Sarah Dunham, where'd you go?
She bailed.
I'm here. I'm here. You go.
Now I'm second guessing myself.
Can you do it? Play it one more time. Sorry.
You got it. No problem.
Mason, you're next.
I forgot to speak about Sam and Jared. I feel like looking back at the year, probably
I'm gonna go with.
I'm gonna say Bic.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the quick.
I'm
I
going
like
with
it. And what's your, obviously, this is tough, right? Especially for one of the best setters in the world, but what's something you see that makes you think it could be quick?
I don't know. I think like the hands, I feel like he's about to release it like really quickly. And the middle is like already about to be up. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's awesome. That's really cool stuff. And kind of the ultimate goal in doing this is, it's, if you can't find this right now when you're really like looking intently, how hard is it going to be when you're in a match, and you just hit a ball and you got to transition up to the net? There's a lot of variables in volleyball, so starting to understand what we need to be looking at really puts us in a position. So let's see where he sets. So if you got quick, great job. We'll play it again just in case anyone missed it. What stands out to me is as he's approaching the ball, he's not quite square. So he's kind of squaring up in the air and rotating as he turns with it. That was something I saw him do when he would set quick more. Rather than when he would set the Bic, he would kind of just go straight up and down and not rotate in the air. All right, so we got another one that we'll check out. So it's the same setter. Now you're right here entering in rotation 1. And it'll either be a quick or a Bic. And we'll check it out. We'll check in with some different people, Hugo.
All right. Lena, pay attention. You're up next.
All right, quick or Bic, where do we think it's going?
What do you think, Lena?
I think it's a Bic.
Okay, and what makes you think Bic?
I don't know. I just think it's a Bic.
Okay, I like it.
Gonna commit on the Bic.
Okay, let's get one more guess. Let's hear
One more guess, my fault.
Bryce, let's hear yours, and then Hugo will call on someone as well.
I think it's big.
What do you see, Bryce?
I see him square, and I just think the spacing, it looks too good to not be big.
All right, I'm either gonna go with Nigel Pope or William, whoever, either one of you guys. William or Nigel? No, if not, we'll go. Let's see. Let's go with Laura. What do you think, Laura?
I also think it's a Bic. I don't really know why, but I don't know. Kind of just, I don't know. The way
Okay.
his hands are, maybe, or it's not so high.
Yeah, maybe a little bit lower, not taking it as high a point.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's see how we did. Set the Bic. So for everyone who guessed Bic, great job. And for everyone who guessed quick, you really see how difficult this can be and why it's so important to have that Bic available. What I really see again is just he's not rotating in the air here as he goes up to set this ball. You see him jump up, and he stays more square to the outside to kind of place that ball up there for him.
Don't just calling on me next.
Oh shoot.
No, my face isn't on it.
All
Kayla,
right.
You're unmuted.
Kayla, did you get that one right? Was it quick or Bic?
I was guessing a Bic because, wait, I didn't see it. Was it the one before, the second one?
Yeah, the second one.
Okay, I was guessing a Bic because he seemed to be fading away a little bit, and I noticed he was doing that when he was setting a Bic.
Okay, nice. That's great. Well, cool. And kind of the reason I like doing that is, one, it's really hard. If we have setters in this, which I'm guessing we have a few setters, you see the importance of taking the ball from a high neutral position and how much stress that puts on a blocker. And that's when you only had two options. You knew it was going to either the quick hitter or the Bic hitter. So it really emphasizes how important that is for you. Blockers and defenders, the quicker we can identify where that set's going, the quicker we're able to move defensively, the quicker we're able to put ourselves in a position to really be able to move, adjust, and be in a good defensive spot and read where that set's going and how the hitter's going to attack it. So yeah, that's something I like to do. So we do that with different kind of options, whether it could be, it might be a gap or a go, or the first one I did, I threw in like a random set over by Maroof, which was kind of a jerk move on my part.
Yeah.
But it kept everyone on their toes. Kyle, let's have you go. What's something, that as you started focusing more on your eyes and what you're seeing on the court that you're able to see that stands out a little bit more to you when you're actually playing?
You talking blocking or defense?
Either or, whatever, is more apparent for you.
For me, defense was easier to pick up on just little cues of where the ball is going, First of all, you got to recognize where the pass, like if it's a good pass or bad pass. If it's good pass, you got all options. If it's bad pass, you probably get one, which is basically outside. And so my job as an outside hitter, back row defender, is basically just you're looking to either fill a hole or just sit there and read basically anything that's going off the back line. And so the few things I look at is I look at the setter, see where his hands are going, see where his body is going. Are his hands like backwards? Are his hands forward or straight up? That's one thing I read for defense. And then the second thing I look at is the hitter and where he's going. And then I'll touch on blocking as well. Just a lot of the hand placement for setters is really key on trying to find like where they're and just where the ball is landing, where they're setting.
Can you talk about that a little more in terms of the hand placement? So you talked about a little bit here, and there, you know. So what does one mean, you know, specifically for back sets, which is what you usually see? What do you see that kind of stands out? Maybe the set's going to be inside or wide or perfect.
Yeah, so one thing I really noticed is if the ball's going back, the setters usually has an arch back already, like before they even set, because they want to get the ball back there and just in the perfect spot for their hitter. So that's one thing I focus on. Another thing is if they're a really good setter, like Bryce does this really well. He holds the last minute and is able to just flick back and release like that. And that's really tricky, but also if you can find the cue of when that's happening and just little things that the setter does for that, I think that's really important to read. And I know, Brad, you said like the location of the set you wanted to talk a little about too. Location for me is just finding where the ball is coming down and then just shooting your hands across the net as fast as you can. Just taking away the most court as fast as you can is really important.
Awesome. That's great. Well, cool. Hugo, that's kind of all I had planned, and I think it's some good stuff. And in terms of any of the video or any of the links, I can definitely share that with you that you could pass on to everyone. But is there any questions, or does anyone have any, you know, feedback or anything that stood out or things they liked or didn't like through this all?
We got some pretty shy kids, Brad.
That's okay. That's okay. I was shy too. I used to be afraid to order pizzas on the phone. That's random fact of the day.
Look, you can hear Sarah. I can see Sarah saying that's me too. So, alrighty, guys. Thanks for coming in, Coach Brad. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
We're going to throw this one up on YouTube for everyone to see later if they missed it. Kyle, Bryce, thank you guys for jumping in. NAIA rules are awesome.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, obviously, I mean, I'm sure there's lots of stress going on with recruiting and different stuff. But realistically, everyone's in the same boat. Everyone kind of gets where you're coming from. So, you know, I don't look at it like it's the end of the world because you don't get to play at JOs in front of college coaches. College coaches are bummed they're not going to JOs too. So everyone will adjust, everyone will improvise, and we'll all get through it together with the volleyball community. So don't freak out about those little things. It'll work itself out. Just do your part and do whatever you can and keep listening to Hugo and company.
All right, and if you guys, there's a lot of girls in this chat too. Reach out to any NAIA school. Now you guys know that they can talk to you and answer any questions face-to-face or Zoom or phone calls, emails, etc. So don't be afraid. All righty, guys. Thank you.
Thanks for doing this, Coach.
Good seeing you, Cade.